Good morning, students. Our today's topic is the solution of initial value problem. This problem is also called Cauchy's problem, and this is an initial value problem for the heat equation. Here we have a function g which belongs to the intersection of two function spaces. First function space is CRN, means the function space of all the continuous functions defined on the n-dimensional real Euclidean space Rn. And the second space, L infinity, Rn. This is the space of all the Lebesgue measurable functions defined on Rn. And we define a function u which is the function of x and t, and this is given by the integral of the function phi which is the function of x minus y and t into the function g, and this integral is over the n-dimensional real Euclidean space. Here this phi is the fundamental solution of the heat equation. We are to prove that this function u satisfies the three conditions. First condition, u is infinitely differentiable function defined on the space Rn cross open interval 0 to infinity. In the second part, we are to prove that this function u satisfies the heat equation, means ut minus Laplacian of u is equal to 0. Here x belongs to Rn and t is positive. In the third condition, we are to prove that as the point xt approaches to the point x0, 0, then the limit of the function u is g at x0. Means when t is 0, the value of function u is g x0. Here x0 is the point belonging to n-dimensional real Euclidean space. Now, first of all, we prove that u is infinitely differentiable function. Now, by definition of u, from here, from the equation 1, you can see that the function u is on the right hand side in the integral. This function is having exponential function, and exponential function is infinitely differentiable function. So we can say that the function 1 upon t raised to the power n by 2 into e raised to the power minus x mod square upon 4t, this is infinitely differentiable function, and also this function has uniformly bounded derivatives of all orders in Rn cross the semi-open interval delta to infinity. Here delta is positive. So we can say that the function u is infinitely differentiable function on Rn cross open interval 0 to infinity. Now, in the second part, we prove that the function u satisfies the heat equation. So we require the partial derivative of u with respect to t and also the Laplacian of u with respect to x. So let us find them one by one. So differentiating function u partially with respect to t. From the equation 1, this partial derivative is given by integral over Rn phi t. Phi t means the partial derivative of function phi with respect to t. This is not a function of t. So the partial derivative will be only of the function phi. Now let us find the Laplacian of the function u with respect to x. Now because again g is not a function of x, so the Laplacian will be only of the function phi. So Laplacian of function u is equal to integral over Rn of Laplacian of phi into the function g. Now let us find ut minus Laplacian of u. Putting the values of ut means partial derivative of u with respect to t, and the Laplacian of function u. We have substituted both the values and combined both integrals into one of the integrals. Now you can see that here the integrand inside these brackets, that is having the expression phi t minus Laplacian of phi. Now because phi is fundamental solution of heat equation, so that will satisfy heat equation, and therefore this expression will become 0, and therefore we can say that ut minus Laplacian of u is equal to 0. So this proves our second part also. Now we'll prove the third part. In the third part, we are to prove that the value of the function u as t approaches to 0, that becomes gx0. To prove this, let us take x0 belonging to n-dimensional real Euclidean space. Now because we are given in the statement that G belongs to the intersection of two function spaces, in which one of the function space is the space of continuous functions defined on Rn. So by definition, we can say that the function G is continuous function in Rn. And because x0 belongs to Rn, so we can say that the function G is continuous at the point x0. So we can apply the definition of continuity. So by definition of continuity, for epsilon greater than 0, there exists a positive number delta, such that whenever y minus x0 mod is less than delta, the mod of the value of g at y minus the value of g at x0, that is less than epsilon. Here y is also belonging to Rn. Now let us take x minus x0 mod is less than or equal to delta by 2, and let us find the absolute difference of u with g of x0. Now substituting the value of function u which we are given in the statement, and also yesterday we discussed that the integral of fundamental solution of heat equation, that is 1. So this term can be written as integral over Rn of the function phi into g at x0. Now we can combine these two integrals into one integral. So we get the mod of u xt minus gx0, that is equal to mod of the integral over Rn of the function g of y minus g of x0 into the function phi, which is the function of x minus y and t. Now by using the properties of integrals, absolute value of this integral, that will be less than or equal to integral of mod of g of y minus g of x0 into mod of phi. Because the function phi is non-negative, so there is no need to put the modulus sign here on the function phi. And now we can break this integral into two parts. We have taken a ball with center x0 and radius delta. Delta is a positive number, and so we have splitted this integral into two integrals. One of the integral we have taken over the ball, and second we have taken over the complement of this ball. So we have two integrals now. One of the integrals we have denoted by j, and another integral we have denoted by I. Now let us find the values of both integrals one by one. So first of all, let us consider the integral which we have denoted by I. Now I is the integral over the ball with center x naught and radius delta, and the integrand is mod of g at y minus g at x naught into the function phi. Now, because the point y here, this belongs to this ball, so by definition, the distance of point y from the center of the ball, that will be less than delta. So we can use the definition of continuity of g from the equation A. So this expression will be very small. We can say that is less than epsilon. So we can say that this integral I takes the value. This is less than or equal to epsilon into integral of function phi over the ball with center x naught and radius delta. Now because this ball is contained in Rn, so the integral over this ball will be less than or equal to the integral over Rn. And by the property, because the integral of fundamental solution of heat equation, that is 1, so we can use the property here. So we get I is less than or equal to epsilon. Now let us consider the integral which we denoted by j. J is the integral over the complement of the ball with center x naught and radius delta. Now first of all, let us find this value. For this we will use which we are given in the statement, that g belongs to the intersection of two function spaces. One of the function space was CRn and second was L infinity Rn. Because g belongs to the intersection, so g belongs to this function space also. And by definition, if a function g belongs to this space, then the norm of the function g on this space, that will be finite. Now let us consider absolute value of g of y minus g of x naught. By triangle inequality, this will be less than or equal to mod of gy plus mod of g at x naught. Now because we know that in general u mod is less than or equal to u norm on the space L infinity, so this will be less than or equal to norm of g on the space L infinity, and also the same holds for this also. So this will become 2 times norm of g on the space L infinity Rn. Now we can use this value here. So we can say that j is less than or equal to 2 times norm of g on the space L infinity Rn into the integral over the complement of the ball of the function phi. Now we can substitute the value of function phi, and so we have obtained j is less than or equal to this value remaining 1 upon t raised to the power n by 2. The remaining part we have denoted by c. So we can say that j is less than or equal to c upon t raised to the power n by 2 into the integral of e raised to the power minus x minus y mod square upon 40. Now here the point y belongs to the complement of the ball. It means y does not belong to the ball. So by definition, the distance of y from the center of the ball will be greater than or equal to delta. Now if we consider the mod of y minus x naught by adding and subtracting x inside and using the triangle inequality, we get this expression. Now we have already considered mod of x minus x naught, that is less than or equal to delta by 2. And we can substitute from here, we can use this result. So we get mod of y minus x naught, that will be less than or equal to y minus x mod plus y minus x naught mod by 2. Now from here we get half of mod of y minus x naught is less than or equal to y minus x mod. squaring both sides and multiplying both sides by minus 1 upon 4t, we have obtained the expression minus 1 upon 16t into y minus x dot mod square is greater than or equal to minus 1 upon 4t into y minus x mod square. Now because exponential function is increasing function, so if this expression is greater than or equal to this expression, then we can say that exponential of this term will be greater than or equal to exponential of this term, and we can use this in the integral j. So we get j is less than or equal to c upon t raised to the power n by 2 into the integral of e raised to the power minus y minus x dot mod square upon 16t. Now let us use the theorem of polar coordinates. By using that theorem, we can change the integral over the complement of the ball into the integral over a sphere. So using this theorem, j will be less than or equal to c upon t raised to the power n by 2 into the integral from delta to infinity of the integral over the sphere with center x naught, radius r of this exponential function. Now y minus x naught mod is r, so putting the value here, and this term can be taken outside of this integral now, and inside we are left with integral ds over the sphere with center x naught and radius r, and this is the surface area of the sphere with center x naught and radius r, and surface area of the sphere is given by n, alpha n into radius raised to the power n minus 1. So we get j is less than or equal to c upon t raised to the power n by 2 into integral from delta to infinity of the function e raised to the power minus r square upon 16t into n alpha n into r raised to the power n minus 1. Now as t approaches to 0, this expression will also approach to 0. So we have obtained the absolute difference of u with g at x naught that is less than epsilon as t approaches to 0, and whenever the absolute difference of x with x naught is less than or equal to delta by 2. So we can say that the limit of the function u as the point xt approaches to the point x naught comma 0, that is given by g at x naught. So this proves the third part of the given problem. So this completes the topic, the solution of initial value problem.